Yeah, when CHILLAX loses, is that what's going to happen?
Depends what the outcome is here. The balloon might soar. The balloon might crumble.
Crumble? I mean, pop. Come on, Avery. You got to keep up with the right verbs for this analogy.
Give me some leeway. Commuting a balloon to Dota, you know. Things aren't going to perfectly align.
All right. I mean, seriously, though, do you like... I mean, second phase IO is always kind of scary, right?
Yeah, I think it can be spooky depending on the combo you get with it. IO Razor isn't, I think, the super powerhouse that comes to mind, but in a really good Razor game, it can do work. Is this a really good Razor game? I feel like you got counterpicked a decent amount. CK can have a decent matchup for this hero. Quap is historical for good lane matchup, being able to break the link in the game, and DP doesn't really care about getting linked. She just sustains through it and shuts you with ult.
Yeah.
So while this Razor can get powered up at the same time, I'm not sure it's the greatest Razor game to be putting all your eggs in his basket. I really like this Quap pick, and then I really like the Kunkka pick. They were the two heroes that I was actually thinking of in this last stage. I think the Quap gives him another hero who can jump in, kill these squishy backliners, output a huge amount of damage. The Lich is really nice with this hero because you buff up the EHP. Quap always likes being a little tankier. And then this Kunkka helps solve some of that damage burst issues, able to take the long fight and gives you the AoE for the CK. So I really like the two last picks. I think this game comes a lot down to between Supreme and MTD who gets more done for their respective teams.
You know what I like about you, Avery? When you say I'm thinking about, I was
I
thinking
don't get
about
a chance
those.
to answer. I was gonna say my sparkling personality. What were you?
Yeah, exactly that. The fact that you say I was thinking about those last two picks, and I don't have a doubt in my mind you were actually thinking about those heroes.
I legit was. This is a great Quap game. I was like, oh, if they pick Quap, they're gonna get Kunkka, and it came out. I do like this Quap a bit better than the Kunkka because I think the Kunkka is kind of trying to make up for some of the things they lacked. Where the Quap is taking their lineup and pushing it to that next level in terms of providing them what they want to help them excel. Those are kind of two sides of the same coin, but I feel like when you're last pick and you have to respond, it just feels a little defensive to me, you know. But
Not
it is
that like gotcha pick.
Yeah, you know, I mean, it's a good lane matchup. It's good catch in the fight. We'll see how much can get done.
Attack animation on Skywrath Mage is so good. I can't believe he managed to get 2 of those hits in on that courier.
This is another kind of decent support lane matchup for the Skywrath, which we're seeing a lot this patch. The downside is if he gets all in on the side or something, he has to be careful, but he should be able to outrange this lane and just kind of melt this Lich down over time.
Yeah.
Though the upside is whenever Lich dies, he just comes back full, and he's a nice hero to come back to lane full on.
He's not running out of mana anytime soon, that's for sure. The mango build. Are you a fan of that still? These masked mangoes?
I never like these builds because I feel like you're just chucking net worth in the dumpster for minimal gain, but if you get the kills off of them, then they're worth it. Nice body blocks.
Good body blocking. It's not going to lead to a kill or anything, but this kind of harassment does build up as they are going to try and go for the all-in here, but at the same time, Lich is going to get really low. In fact, they're going to get the Lich kill first before maybe next time dies. So, a nice commitment for CHILLAX that pays off.
Really wanted that first blood. You were talking about these mango builds. That's where you want to make them pay off, be able to come back, but both these supports are actually perfectly happy to die and come back in this lane as long as they're buffing up their cores.
Yeah.
XP and early gold lead. Kind of an interesting dynamic. This top lane is more about the levels. Both sides trying to eke out a early spell advantage. Especially for this monkey, being able to commit into this is difficult, so we saw Era pulling the waves. Double ranged lane with a lot of move speed to kite you. Not the easiest lane for support monkey.
Yeah, but at the same time, they don't have any stuns really to stop you from... Oh, missed out on the sentry kill. That's going to feel pretty bad. Missed out on the sky kill? No. They catch up to him. And with that additional slow, there's no way Beam next time can live, right?
I think he missed an auto attack there, but...
Yeah, it was close. It was certainly very, very close to being able to get that one last hit in. And Skywrath, I mean, he's got no armor, so one swing probably would have done it.
Pretty much, especially on the side like that.
Era! They don't want to chase into the tower, though. Not for the support kill, anyway.
Yeah, they have a huge amount of creeps on them, too, because a Dire wave got pulled. This is going to be a large double wave for Dire top, but probably not a lot they can do with it. This bottom lane is just a offensive aggression type lane.
Slugfest.
Yep.
Oh, mid lane's a bit of a slugfest too. MTD is winning in CS right now, not by a ton. In fact, actually more denies with the creep wave pushing into Supreme. So maybe I'm a bit wrong on that. Very even though, and both of them very low on HP due to all the harassment between the two of them.
MNT will snipe that bottom water rune though, which is going to force Supreme back to base here. That will once again give MTD the level advantage. The big thing about this Quap Kunkka matchup is if you get to that boat first, you can potentially solo kill him with a support rotation.
Even better, he didn't actually take the water.
Oh yeah, he just left it.
He just left it. So now MTD gets double water runes where the Quap has to go back. Best of both worlds.
Yeah, and Kunkka naturally is going to shove this wave in, so he'll miss like 2 melee creeps entirely here.
Which also means, again, we're going to see the early level 6 on MTD. We saw that in the Mars matchup against Ember. They did not manage to get a kill last time with that timing. We'll see if that changes for CHILLAX here in Game 3.
I would really like to see him use it this game. I think last game, that Mars game, it could have set up the game flow a lot. In this game, again, this Kunkka Quap matchup, if you get this boat first, you really want to use it. And Skyrat's a decent TP connector to this, because once you land the X, it guarantees the follow-up. It's also a question, though, can you get this Quap low enough? And that's the upside of Supreme going back to base. Pretty high resources.
Yeah. Full HP, full bottle. Probably would need the Sky to rotate over to really ensure the kill, right?
Yep. And MTD X'd himself back to base. Those boat kills probably not going to happen, but the upside is 60 seconds, he can look for one of these side lane turnarounds if the lanes progress in that fashion.
Yeah. Top lane, Death Prophet is the lowest CS core in the game right now, but I think it makes sense. IO Razor is a pretty tough lane to be able to beat. Onmi's actually going to take a lot of damage here from Koba, but they do make the rotation over, and it is going to be enough. The Skywrath shows up for the Kunkka gank. It does cost Onmi his life, it looks like, as they're going to dive in for that one. But would you say that exchange is worth it?
I think it's worth it. I think this game is a lot about the Quap Kunkka matchup and which hero's snowballing over the other, which one's getting runes. These are the two heroes that can make stuff happen on the map and are going to be your big playmakers in that mid game. This matchup's more important than maybe your Mars dying once.
Sure.
You know, who cares? Whatever. He'll come back. You can go play with him. Ideally, it's not even a kill that maybe should have happened, but it's going to cost Radiant a lot of resources to do it. We see 5 of which has to walk to base anyway, so I think the priority is there. More harass here.
Ooh, actually doesn't get the second Tidebringer hit in.
You're also instilling that fear factor, you know what I mean? Like
psychological damage.
Exactly. Supreme, he doesn't know where this Skywrath is. He could be lurking there again for a follow-up. Might make him play a bit safer.
You get paranoid. Adrenaline starts picking up.
Shibe, he's out pretty far. Gonna have to
TP. He's safe, but he doesn't have too many resources. He's just got 8 magic wand charges. No regen on the monkey either.
MTD got the D-ward mid, stealing this small camp stack.
Nice.
This is those small things that are skewing this lane.
They're gonna go for it again.
Back.
Supreme pulled back into the boat, silence immediately. Easy kill, and Air is too late to stop it.
And the Disillusion rune getting good.
Oh, CHILLAX. A little fire here in Game 3. Mass tipping Supreme.
I told you, that psychological factor. Now you're putting on the in-game pressure, you're putting on the out-of-game pressure. This is why Valve wanted to introduce heartbeat readers. Heartbeat monitors.
I remember that. That was there at TI1, right?
I don't know about that one. I don't even think I was at TI1, but even one.
Wait, you don't know if you were at TI1?
I wasn't.
Is that how old you are, Avery? Was I there?
I'm just keeping the option open, you know. Maybe I was. You don't know. He's getting X'd again.
This time around, he's got 2 supports behind him, though. So Supreme will not die, and they will secure him the power rune. He's probably telling his boys, like, guys, come on. I'm your big playmaker here. You're leaving me out to dry.
I like the game plan. Play through this Kunkka Quap matchup. It's your last pick. Put it to good use. They got nice kills with the boat on this Quap. He's already off to 0-2. Quap is not a hero that ideally wants her lane to go like this. And at the same time, Kunkka's great when he accelerates this fast because he abuses the levels super hard. So we'll see. Now he's just doing stacks. He can give mid to a support. maybe this isn't the highest priority you can do with all those levels, but this game's accelerating really nicely. He's queued up Armlet. This is not a build we see a lot. Usually people go fast BKB or some... I've seen Sange build, stuff like this, but Armlet, this is like a classic mid Kunkka build. The early damage power-up is going to be pretty fast here. Torrent stack.
Nice stacking with the Torrent.
Is a great conductor.
He's going to be level 10.5 off this. This is going to be a scary ship captain.
And he's going to give his Skywrath Mage an opportunity to get solo levels mid, maybe get level 6.
Yep. Razor IO doing stacks of their own here in this upper tri-camp. So CHILLAX really putting the economic pressure on, giving some up on the lanes that they were doing pretty well in, but at the same time, CK doesn't feel comfortable to sit bottom. Winning a bit of an economic advantage here. It's going to be a question of what can they use it for.
Sorry, Avery. He ended up being 10 1/3, so you were kind of off there in your calculation.
There goes my job. We all got to go sooner or later.
Hey, he's washed up already. This guy doesn't even know how much experience camps give.
Was that a Kunkka voice line pun, or was that purely accidental there?
No, that was definitely intentional. You see, that's what you got to learn about casting. You always got to make sure you got to give your partner every out as possible to be looking good, you know? Sure, it wasn't intentional, but you got to say, nice Kunkka pun. That was well played.
I don't want to give you credit you don't deserve. That's all I'll say.
Got to work for everything that you get.
Damn straight.
How do you feel?
Ain't no pun welfare out here.
No joke gimmies. You got to work hard, come up with your own funny stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I give Lacoste a couple freebies here and there because...
I mean, he's earned it. He's got the legacy.
I was going to say he needs a few, but you got to work for that cap.
All right, we have a bit of a pause here. Not going to say short pause. Could be an incredibly long pause. Fortunately, we're here for you, though.
Well, they said ready, so it's like it's going to be a short pause.
10-minute on the dime here. It's 2-3. CHILLAX definitely, I mean, this is the first game. Well, first of all, let's talk about this is their first game 3 in the DPC. Second of all, this is the first game in this series that they walked away with the laning phase win.
That is true. Now it's a question of what do they do when they're ahead as opposed to behind. We saw them able to do some decent stuff from behind in positions that weren't that easy. But now they kind of have the world is their oyster type situation. The choices are up to this MTD Kunkka, in my opinion.
Do you feel like those are different skill sets, that different teams succeed
Oh,
or like a better at playing from behind than ahead?
Absolutely. I think to be a world-class team, you need to be able to do both to a world-class degree. But there are definitely some teams that excel at one or the other. There are teams you get a lead against and you just feel it does not mean a lot. And there are definitely teams where once you get ahead, you know they're going to crumble.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Damn. You want to name names there?
Oh, that's what you were waiting for, huh?
Mars in some trouble. There is going to be the silence, but it's not like the Quap needs to throw any spells around. In fact, maybe next time, Era's trying to get in front of him here. Supreme catches up, and now an unleashed, unsilenced Queen of Pain can get the second kill in this gank.
Arcane Rune on the back of it. He's going to be pretty happy to clean those up and, you know, substantiate some of those early game losses. But at the same time, MTD gets that free tier 1 mid. He is still living the dream out here. Armlet already on the way. This should be a pretty good signal to make a move out of this.
Yeah, they've got level 6 on the IO as well, so maybe this is this could be really well played by Chicken Fighters, this fast move. They just set up, they get a kill bottom, now they're going to go for the kill top.
Exorcism.
Cut through the trees, get on top of the Razor. They go for the Razor instead of the IO. He does have the relocate. He's going to try for it, but the damage is too much. And Lodine, while he does manage to relocate successfully, he does not bring the Razor back with him. He's going to come back, and maybe he can help out MTD. He's trying to do it all by himself right here. Are they going to go for the dive?
Versus the world.
It really
Nobody
is.
else
There
is
any
coming.
more TPs coming in? Lodine's back in from his relocate earlier, but there's too many heroes here. Chicken Fighters have brought the whole crew. Lodine goes for a TP out, and he will make it alive both times around. Survives off of just 100 HP, but because they made that gank happen bottom lane, the Sky and Mars TP back to lane. That's why Chicken Fighters made that 5-man play top. That was so smart.
It was really nice. They dodged that Kunkka gank bottom. He was smoking bottom as we see on the minimap. Now he TP's up here. 3v5, the Razor goes down. IO reloads out, but we see the value of the Chain Frost in this IO matchup. Just obliterating that core. MTD is strong here. We see how long he survives, but Death Prophet has a very nice matchup versus hero in the early game. This is the last hero he wants to be fighting in this situation with all the sustain.
And that armlet, it almost plays against MTD, against that Death Prophet. So much HP to Spirit Siphon off of.
Definitely not the engagement they were looking for with that super fast armlet Kunkka timing.
No.
You're going to feed some of the gold back. And Coma Chaos Knight's having a pretty decent game after that. Did well on his lane, made the first moves, is the aggressor. Brought his Lich and his Quap back into this game a little bit.
And the first relocate is a bit of a waste.
Yeah, defensive at that. I thought that was going to be a guaranteed a nice offensive reload move, but if you make the move on them first, it's a way to shut it down.
Yeah, they've got pretty good spells to set it up for, right? Like Arena and X marks the spot are like kind of guarantee relocate ganks.
Pretty much, until those BKBs come out. It's a long duration setup versus no saves.
It'll be interesting to see how successful Era is. Because we've seen like these Monkey Kings, like the way Soxa plays it, so good at being able to scout out vision. MTD gets caught in the river here. And is going to pop the armlet, pop the bow, but it looks like maybe he's a little bit too low. Will not survive, not even Bloating trying to help him out there in the last second. They do have the Razor cutting in, starts taking away some damage, going for 5 up, but the magic damage is coming in. He's just committed to a kill he can't even get. Now they are not going to lose their IO once again. Bloating, maybe he needs to go back to dying again because he keeps on surviving, yes, but his core is getting caught, and now maybe next time dies as well to the Chaos Knight.
Disaster of a river fight. They didn't even use Exorcism or Quapple for out. This was just Jibe ulting to move towards that mid tower. This early game might have won the lanes, but they did not find any way to use it. Chicken Fighters are the one bringing the fight to them. This early Lich pick is doing a huge amount in these fights.
Oh, yeah.
We didn't mention it, but this is a pretty good Frost Shield game in terms of if the hero isn't getting dealt with by those Skywrath ultimate and his nukes, the rest is almost physical as the game goes on.
Yeah. And that, MTD, gonna walk right into that one. We'll go back and watch the replay of this where it's twice now that Chicken Fighters have just brought more heroes to the onset of a team fight. And with that numbers advantage, managed to carry through, and CHILLAX kind of trickling in players one by one, lose out big time.
This is where you need numbers. That's part of the strength of this IO, is getting you the numbers advantage on the map, or you're going to outfarm the enemy. When you get outnumbered with this hero, it's going to feel really bad because then someone's getting focused down. That's not always where IO thrives, especially versus a lineup like this, which is built to deal not only large single target burst, but has those AoE follow-up spells like Chain Frost, Quap ulti, Monkey ulti.
What we're currently watching is Chicken Fighters. They're playing defensive and grouped up because they know a smoke happened thanks to Era's scouting. And now they're going to try and spoil that gank as they group up together, going for the Mars. He does manage to get off his Arena combination. The boat comes through, does manage to hit the Monkey King. They're trying to commit for this Death Prophet, though. They don't quite have enough damage by themselves. They close in on Era, but with the X marks the spot, they'll catch Zibe now. Oh, relocate back, but it doesn't matter. He's not needed for the kill either way.
What an awkward engagement. They thought they're going on Mars there, but this is the time where CHILLAX brings all the numbers. And Supreme, he's farming top, low 8 mana. There's no way he can ever get to that fight and contribute.
Yeah, if they want to go for one of these kind of plays, isn't the burst damage of the Quap essential?
I tend to agree, especially since we haven't seen him using these ults. He's kind of been playing off just the screams and daggers, which if you're winning the fights, by all means. But that's a fight where if Quap comes in, that Mars might just die, right?
Yeah.
So
now CHILLAX, they've been doing, until this last one, they've been kind of losing out on some fights, even though they had the advantage. They still have the stack advantage, though, so they're still putting on what you call the economic pressure on Chicken Fighters where they can.
I don't know if that's actually a term, but
I mean, I like it. It's a nice term.
I don't know if players really feel economic pressure. Sometimes you do. mainly like Alchemist, you know?
I don't know. Were you the one who said? Somebody said like players are usually pretty good at being able to judge net worth differences.
Yeah, they are. You feel it. You can definitely tell how close a game is if you're falling behind, how powerful certain heroes are, regardless of where the net worth's actually at.
Yeah.
You definitely feel those things. It's your sixth sense, so to say.
Well, do they have the sixth sense to know that this Roshan is going on? It doesn't seem like it. CHILLAX operating on 5 senses, it seems, and there is no sight around this Roshan pit, so they'll miss out.
Double damage spawn as well. It's gonna go on this Queen of Pain. They just had the confidence with that Queen of Pain BKB and all their AoE that they refused to believe CHILLAX could fight into them there without this Kunkka BKB. It's probably true.
Yeah, if CHILLAX, if they knew about that play, do you think they would have contested?
There is a way to contest if you get the really good jump in the pit, but it's hard, honestly. There's just so much turnaround potential that can come out. You're gonna have to fight through this Death Prophet because it's unlikely you find her and burst her first.
Yeah.
It's a hard fight. It's not where this type of IO Skywrath lineup thrives either in terms of just the head-on 5-on-5 unless you get that really good jump. Which in a scenario like that is almost impossible because you're just not going to have the vision advantage on a team that's already roaching.
Oh, a Blink Spear, bold play. That just might net the kill. It will. With the Skywrath Mage follow-up there. And even the relocate on the other side of things, they were hoping to be able to catch more. All they got was the Lich. But still, a nicely played move there.
Very nice. This mid lane feels like both these teams just not respecting the jumps that can come out. This is something you see from higher tier teams in terms of the discipline, who they're showing here. This mid lane can be a very quick death sentence if you're not careful. We saw it last game. Might just cost you some of these really close series.
Owned.me is not alone here. Oh, the arena wall, Ace not quite through. He can kind of get through. Coma will stop doing some damage. Era's not going to be able to do much, but he's pulled back in once again. The Razor, he just netted a lot of damage away from the Monkey, but he has to TP out. Coma's a little bit too scary. He does successfully make it out. That is going to be his first BKB usage.
That is a Mars death, and he's going to have a uphill battle to recover in these fights, especially because he is the primary initiator, which might mean he just goes down a lot first.
Do you think him having high net worth is important for CHILLAX to scale, or can they just rely on the Razor Kunkka?
I don't think it's important for a very, very long time. Okay. But it might become relevant later if he can't find a way to win fights and catch up. But for the next, foreseeable 10 minutes, it's not the biggest deal. He just needs to play that initiator role. His IO can help scale a lot of this core's net worth as well. The stronger Razor gets, the more that overcharge is going to do. Kunkka's also a really nice buffer for this Razor, so a lot of it is dependent on how much damage this Razor can output in the fight, if he can take the sustained long fight, those types of things. Now, a lot of that might come down to this Mars initiation, and that's where his job is insanely important in terms of setting the fight up properly, giving them either the 4v5 or getting one of these cores super low. That's what's going to give his Razor the best chance to take one of those extended fights, because Razor's not bursting anybody in this game, right?
Yeah.
So you have to start thinking about how long these fights are going to go and how you're going to take them. That's what this IO is designed to do. That's what this Kunkka is designed to do. Chicken fighters, on the flip side, they're perfectly happy to just throw all their spells the second they see you clump and try and burst you through this super high magic damage.
And it looks like they're going to try and force an important timing here. They've got the BKB on all 3 of their cores. They still have a minute and a half left for the Aegis. I mean, Chicken Fighters, this has got to be one of the biggest peaks you're going to see.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
MTD may regret setting up for this fight as he is immediately going to get stunned into... No, he gets off the BKB. Coma wasn't there fast enough. They're going to get the X-Boat. Is Coma going to pop the BKB himself? He will not. He's going to rely on the Aegis here. Armlet toggle, keeping alive. All right.
Still have Link on Razor, so he could just link him.
Life number 2, Zibe kind of running in. Actually, he's kind of a little bit low when Pleb sees that opportunity to try and go for the kill, but he's afraid of the Monkey King ultimate. Gets pushed back into it by the Sonic Wave, but he gets some distance.
What a torrent.
Nice torrent. A beautiful setup by MTD. They come in for the Chaos Knight kill, and the damage comes through between the Sky and the Mars. They combo it up, and 5 up will be the last one to die here on the Chicken Fighters side. A 4-for-0 wipe. Make it 5 if you want to include that Aegis.
Huge tier 2 tower fight for CHILLAX here. almost similar to that game 2 where we saw that Aegis bait the Morphling on the high ground and it turns this fight into disaster. CK's just under this tier 2, has to pop his BKB early. And that's the type of long engagement that's going to favor CHILLAX here. That Death Prophet was getting melted, gets saved by Frost Shield, but again, they're too low to just re-engage into that Kunkka turnaround. And what a torrent, honestly.
Yeah, that was beautiful.
That was sick.
The way they kited them around this tier 2 was really great, too.
And remember, this tier 2, it's given an armor aura. It's giving you vision.
Yeah.
That's why these tower fights are hard. Supreme, he's trying to burst this Razor, but he doesn't get stunned. He doesn't get pulled. And that torrent just hits all of CKNO's illusions. Monkey gets cut on the tree. That's just going to spell disaster. Again, if these early ultimates and spells come out from Chicken Fighters and the fight is still going on with these CHILLAX heroes high HP, it's going to start to turn really fast.
MTD with an invis. Currently in an appropriate position to spoil Chicken Fighters, who did kind of look like they were going to get aggressive here, but now instead going to fight with a free pickoff. And Era, he's got to skedaddle. Get on out of here.
Era went for Yules this game, which very uncommon support monkey item pickup. Just because you're not scaling in the damage and...
Yeah, we've seen Orchid and Rod of Atos picked up by Monkey Kings before.
Yep.
Why the Yules over those other two items?
The only thing I can think of in this game is, I mean, there's some interactions you can dodge Kunkka spells, but you're not going to bide for that. Is this reload cancel? You can get on the backline and use this IO when that reload save's trying to come out.
Yeah.
And if they're team fight ideas, they want to go and burst a target, take the fight that way, this reload save will destroy them if it ever comes out. And it's kind of a question of who's stopping that, right?
By reload save, because he already has a stun to catch the IO to stop that relocate. Are you talking about like using Yules on the Razor when there's like that defensive relocate out?
Yeah, maybe. I'm not sure. I'm trying. I just don't think the Yules is that amazing here, so I'm trying to think of a way where... I mean, maybe we'll see, right? We'll watch the fight. Maybe he has a really good idea for it. Maybe even just jumping in the backline and using the Razor at the start of the fight when they're going on a Mars or Kunkka is good enough, right?
Sure.
That'll still stall him for, you know, the 2.5, 3 seconds.
Yeah, and that build-up of damage off the static link is super important to get at the start of a fight, so
Yeah.
I could see that, yeah.
I mean, he's going 4-staff too, so it makes me think this itemization is in line with thinking about the Razor in actions, which again, a lot of the damage that has to come out in the fight is this Razor. Reload
The
top.
damage, it's... Oh, Koba's going to go for a
get it.
TP up, but the physical damage is too much with the relocated and MTD connecting. And look at that, CHILLAX making the most of a move. Going to be able to take the offlane tier 1 tower, too.
Now this IO reload on the map is starting to add up. These Chicken Fighters, they're pressured to clump, and at the same time, they're starting to get out farmed. This is where the power of IO really shines, when you're not confident in the 5-on-5 and you have to play the map, and at the same time, the map.
MTD, that was a bluff. He had nobody else behind him. Now he does, but before, he didn't have anybody else. There was no way he was going to kill the Quap. I think he was just forcing the BKB, right?
Pretty much, and he got it, so it's a decent window now. Even just slowing them down or making them clump again because this Quap is a little more scared now. They're 100% getting out-farmed. CHILLAX is happy to scale into this Razor's next set of items.
Yeah.
Already got that refresher BKB.
Regeneration.
All right, our Mars is getting back into shape here. He's actually headed Death Prophet, is going to be working towards BKB. Eric gets spotted by the plasma
Radiant's
field.
middle tower is under attack.
But still looking to keep some vision on CHILLAX.
This Kunkka has a full Silver Edge. He's starting to deal some decent damage of his own. He just chunks Supreme for half his HP. Gotta watch out.
That's kind of worrisome.
Yeah, if he lands one of these big hits on the CK illusions even, he's gonna clear a lot out in these fights.
Bounty.
And he's not easy to burst either. If they catch him on the chain stun, sure, but...
It would have been awkward if maybe next time was still in the Roshan pit, but... Gets away in time. That net worth lead is really building up for CHILLAX. And what does that mean item-wise for them? What are our next big timings?
AC on Razor is going to be huge. That extra armor aura versus the DP and the CK makes a huge deal.
Oh yeah, particularly if he can get that before the level 20 talent on Chaos Knight, right? Because that's a big part of blowing up is threatening the BKB cores. Being able to grab them through their magic immunity.
Exactly. You can grab me, but it might just be killing you back, you know?
Yeah.
And double damage here. The Rune of Destiny for MTD.
That's so value. I mean, we saw the way he chunked the Queen of Pain. I mean,
he
DD makes it hard for Chaos Knight.
He'll one-shot these supports if he gets that Silver Edge hit. 5-up's got to be careful.
Smoked up, moving in.
They have a pretty good ward here.
See the Razor.
Radiant's
They need a
top
clean
tower is under
initiation.
attack.
Need to make sure the BKBs do not go off.
There's the BKBs and the reload they need to think about.
How do they take this fight? How do they set this up?
Smoke on smoke.
Era hopping his way
Dream's
through the
walking
trees.
in.
Smoke's gonna break. He does manage to blink backwards. Era spotted by the ward. The ward he puts on the high ground actually.
3-man silence.
A really good silence. Chicken fighters chasing after it. They immediately throw the ice armor in fear. On the side though, oh, the Chaos Knight, he caught the Razor. He's trying to pull him up, and the plate mail is keeping him alive for now, and Koma's the one who has to be afraid and will not make it out alive. Now catching the Queen of Pain, who already used her BKB. The stuns are gonna be there.
Nice monkey stun though.
Oh, it's a really good stun with the Chain Frost as well. Is it the support? Oh, nice relocate. Gets MTD out of there in live, and maybe next time he's gonna be good as well. It's the supports who carry the fight through for Chicken Fighters after what was on the onset looked like total disaster. Bodine is gonna be stopped by the fear of 5-up.
The supports plus your best friend Exorcism. This is a single item Death Prophet in BKB, but she will shred you off the back of that really nice boundless strike. MTD's not done.
Yeah, he had X-Marks some spot himself earlier. I wonder if he almost regrets that. But then again, he didn't have BKB, so better to play it safe.
Just have to think about these Frost Shields too.
Yeah.
This is a spell that scales really well as your other heroes get tankier and tankier outside of some Nullifier or similar action, which I don't see happening in this game, so...
Yeah, I mean, maybe if that Frost Shield isn't put on Zibe at the start of the fight, but is put on the Chaos Knight, like, he survives long enough to complete his TP out, and that fight actually would look really good for Chicken Fighters. So, decision-making going to be key here.
And we also see that CK Razor battle. You can rift them in, but
yeah.
What happens after that? Did not look even close in terms of that Razor just shredding him.
And that's where this network difference, even a small bit, can make a huge difference. They know what's currently going on in the Roshan pit. Now, Chicken Fighters, they've got this kind of pincer move staying set up, misses the spear.
He's
awkward for CHILLAX.
This might be a hard Roche fight if these spells can come up for Chicken Fighters. Exorcism's in 10, that's the biggest one.
Yeah, right now they're just
CHILLAX want to force the fight. It's hard to run up this high ground though.
At the same time, like, which is more important, Phantasm or Exorcism?
I feel like it's the Exorcism, to be honest.
Yeah.
Based on that last fight, but they're both important. Era's found.
They're gonna be able to catch him. Torrent self-yules into a hop away or something? No. That's not gonna happen.
Really nice find there, spotting this monkey, and he went for that Vlad's. It's a really nice item for his team, but not if you're out of the game. They're not forcing the Roche though, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah, why?
You know he's not gonna have buy on this monkey if you just see Vlad's like that.
Yeah.
I think it would be enough, but maybe just afraid of this Roche getting low and then you end up in a click battle versus BKBs since you have no BKB stuns. It's one way to throw a game. Been there many times.
And they do have the advantage of any IO lineup, right? It's like if you're in a stall around the Roshan pit, the IO lineup can always farm a bit more efficiently because they can play anywhere on the map, right?
That's the theory. You do have to be careful about the catch, and it's also a question though of do you need to be there at the very start of the fight?
Sure.
Sometimes that's more important than, you know, that 2 or 3 seconds you reload in, the fight might already be over if you're not there. And this Razor is vital to be there at the start of the fight, in my opinion. That's kind of a double-edged sword.
Maybe that's why they weren't going too far away from the Roshan pit. Now they're beginning to stretch their legs a little bit more, but the chicken fighters, they're the ones who are going to start some potentially nefarious action here. A 4-man smoke up, managed to get onto the high ground of the dire jungle here, but the Spirit's going to be able to catch Era. Era, again, is going to die 100-0, but at the same time, they pull in the Skywrap. A 1-for-1 trade-off. The arena goes down, but the BKBs similarly being used. Lodine, who actually relocated around to the side, is going to be pulled back into his doom by the Lich.
Razor's
but the
here,
Razor's here. Big Daddy, he's going to be able to run down Sibe first. Looks to be able to catch 5 up. The supports don't stand a chance in hell. Owns me. Turns, goes for Coma. Coma turns and goes for maybe next time, gets that kill, goes for the BKB teleport out, but once again, the Razor's damage is too much, and Supreme can't even get the kill on MTD either.
How many double damage runes is this man gonna get before pivotal fights? Putting so much work in with these huge hits. That reload looked so bizarre because it was loading coming in solo and Razor had to TP to the tier 2 on his own.
Yeah, what
I don't even know if that was intentional or a mistake. Maybe he second guessed at the end, but it ended up working out because they kind of got baited on this IO and then Pleb just comes in. Free fight.
Yeah, we'll see it again here as they get that one support. Here's the relocate in, and as you can see, Lodi just showed up by himself.
But then what ends up happening, I feel like it's almost better. This Razor just gets to come and finish off this Death Prophet, the best target he can get. That Chain Frost ended up doing a huge amount of work, but so we'll see this double damage Kunkka coming in near the end. The damage on the CK when his armor starts to go down.
Yeah, the funny part about that is Coma could have had the pretty easy choice of just BKB teleporting out sooner, but he went for that Skywrath mage kill, and his greed gets him killed. Now Era has been picked off. CHILLAX building up some momentum now. A team fight into a pickoff after a Roshan pickup. They have everything going their way.
Level 25 Kunkka, the full fleet online, full Satanic. This is why that early game pays off for this type of last pick. Kunkka has been on smooth sailing since those early 2 games, it feels like.
I would have thought with the damage build that he has, like he has so much strength now with the Satanic built up, I would have expected the minus cooldown on Tidebringer.
I was actually thinking about it when I was looking at his talents. I'm like, there were a game for -2 Tidebringer. It's probably one where you have a double damage every fight. And, the highest net worth, you know, that sounds pretty good.
Maybe MTD thinks his luck is going to run out when it comes to DD runes, as you could see.
It's possible.
Even win rate between the 2 choices.
I do think the Ghost Fleet is just more reliable in terms of impact. And you know, these cleaves are nice, but in these late game fights, the fight we saw here around this outpost, sometimes there's not that much to cleave off of, right?
Sure. Yeah.
As we saw there, those last hits, I don't think that talent would have made much of a difference in that fight. Whereas Ghost Fleet, you never know. You can get the extra buff on people. You might land on a couple different heroes.
Yeah,
Illusions. Just annoying clutter.
Illusions don't have BKBs, so they can get cleared out, especially when you've got the arena set up. 5 up. Yeah,
He's on his own here.
Yeah, what was he doing here? Either way, it gets... Oh, no! Supreme! He was sticking around a little bit. He's like, this Chain Frost is looking pretty nice. Maybe I can kill the IO, but instead Owned Me catches Supreme first. Owned you.
These are not areas you can just walk up to anymore at this point in the game. The lead is up to 20k now. Aegis still for 2 more minutes. This is looking like high ground here.
Yeah, no, it is.
I don't think you're afraid of this CK's burst anymore. And this Death Prophet is still stuck on BKB plate mail. There's no item progression for her this game after these fights went bad.
Yeah, not even trying to complete the plate mail into anything like Shiva's going back for a Yule's Scepter. You could see the sharp fall off there on the net worth trajectory. And MTD not giving them a whole lot of space. Maybe that's what the Yule's was for. They thought they were going to do more egg shenanigans.
Yeah, it is good for that. But that was not the issue this game.
No, it certainly wasn't.
As the Rax goes down. No double damage this time. Maybe a little bit of a saving grace, but still 2 minutes on this Aegis. Just does not look like a fight they can take, but they were gearing up for it. Phantasm already popped.
They're forced to try here. The tier 3 is already down. They're
Kunkka
going to chain the
chain
stun into the Kunkka. That's a beautiful setup. One already down, but so are the supports. And Pleb, he wants to be able to commit in, but he has to TP out. He makes that fist. Oh, the Yule Scepter catches them. The BKB ran out. Lil Pleb, he goes for the refresh, and with this double ultimate, might be able to kill Era, but he's kind of stranded out here because of Era's sick play. Life number 1. Life number 2, he doesn't have anything left. He is 100% dead.
I was thinking that was a hard fight, but when you can just chain stun Kunkka like that, the reload can't come out. There's no save.
Oh my god, you know what that was? That was the Psychic Headband, bro. The extra cast range on Lich, I think, caught the Kunkka a little off guard. He got the Sinister Gaze into the stun.
Definitely possible. Sometimes these neutral items, you're not thinking about.
He doesn't have BKB. He should be able to blink away, but maybe next time has a blink himself. If he had the vision and got another nuke, maybe.
That was the double damage missing from that last fight, so.
It is 5 up. Shows himself for a second, instantly able to get the Sinister Gaze. Nighttime, also probably a big factor there.
I think it was honestly just, this Kunkka shouldn't be hitting it.
True, yeah.
The only way they win a fight is if they can chain stun Kunkka and bring him down, as long as you're not playing for that reload save. Just a bit of miscommunication cost them a huge push and a huge net worth swing here, almost 10,000 after this Rax.
Yeah, Chicken Fighters get a real stay in this game. They still have 25 seconds left on the Razor, forced out the BKB, so that'll probably be Chicken Fighters retreating.
That could have been the game there if they organized that high ground better.
Yeah.
Just a little lack of discipline. Suddenly we have a game back on our hands here. Full Assault Kuros for this Chaos Knight. Quap's going to have a choice of another item here. I think you buy out for it. I don't believe buyback is doing it for you this game. And Death Prophet trying to finish that Shiva's.
I mean, a pretty significant change from where we were just 2 minutes ago. He hadn't completed the Yules before. Now Yules and almost a Shiva's, thanks to that team fight. Look at that. Big win percentage shift. Absolutely, CHILLAX still holding this game somewhat comfortably. But it was almost a damn near guarantee, as you see, though, with 6%. Yeah, Chicken Fighter was not left with much room to work with, but game changes dramatically off of just the right kind of initiation. Let's see if Chicken Fighters can do it a second time here, or if CHILLAX, having learned their lessons of the past, well, maybe not. MTD is...
He's still up here hitting it. They do have that reload save. Phantasm in the back. Koma's looking. They want this Kunkka.
Zibe offers himself. They do manage to get the spear. Two-man spear! Both and a refresh on top of that one. The Monkey King dies almost instantly. Koma's left with half health, but they're focusing on Zibe. They manage to get him. A second arena coming down, and Koma is going to be swept up as the Razor comes through. That is exactly the reinforcements that the Mars now needed. A refresh, and Supreme does manage to blink himself away, but ultimately it's still a somewhat healthy Razor. They're going to go for this one. Oh, the Sonic Wave is enough. They get the kill, and once again, CHILLAX have overextended themselves. Off the buybacks of Chicken Fighters, they will finish out this team fight with the W, even though it still comes at quite the hefty cost.
These high grounds not going their way at all. That was a double two-man spear. You don't get to see that every day.
Yeah.
And the CK lived off it. So that's target differential here. CHILLAX just trying to do too many things at once in that fight. This Razor has a really nice link, and he's trying to finish off this Death Prophet at the same time. I feel like once you get that double spear in the back, you just go for that. Protect your backline, condense on that. This Death Prophet does die, so maybe that was a fine decision after all.
And I mean, they still kill the Chaos Knight. It's this part right here where they choose to keep going. Maybe they didn't expect Chaos Knight to have buyback.
I think they're still decently strong here, but they're just getting chipped down in that, maybe that extra Chain Frost bounce. Still, the Quap ulti had not been used. Maybe that's what caught them off guard there. No mana for the reload either. That's another 10k gold swing.
Yeah. That's definitely a facepalm moment right there. By the way, Lich is now level 20 off of that team fight, so he's got the Frost Shield duration, which I would say is pretty important. Yeah.
So nice for this hero. Now, I don't think we would have seen Chicken Fighters contesting, let alone taking a Roshan 10 minutes ago. This is huge for them. It's a refresher shard.
Would you prefer that if you're Chicken Fighters, or would you have liked the Aghanim Scepter?
I feel like I usually prefer Ags over Refresher Shard, but they don't really have the best Ags targets anyway. This Refresher Shard can do some serious damage on the back of this Death Prophet, right? If she lives long enough.
Yeah.
CHILLAX trying to not give it. Another double damage.
Oh, he's panics. Jumps. And will be okay. Fortunately, does not get caught there. We should point out the fact that he does have that upgraded Vlad's, the Wraith pack. So he may be able to sneak in a totem in areas that could be significant. I mean, losing 25% of your damage is no small joke.
This is all damage. This item, in theory, is pretty broken numbers-wise in these late-game fights.
Yeah.
I'm kind of surprised we don't see it picked up more in these really late games. I think the build-up's awkward. The fact that it lowers your Vlad's radius kind of weird. But numbers-wise, in these late-game fights, just 25% damage off the board. Sign me up.
Yeah. Add in the Wukong's command as well, and you've got sort of this, like, we own this area. The team fight happens around this area. We are going to feel pretty good about it. And Era with the smoke on his team, leading the way, jumping from tree to tree, getting right in front of the Dire base. Now, MTD is still able to scout things out with this invis, and he will manage to scout Era.
Yes, Yules.
Yules dodges the X. Very important there in MTD. He may be surprised by this one. Pull back into the stun. He didn't get off the BKB. He's down to half health. He may just die. Turns around. BKB gets a little bit of health back up. He's actually being able to lifesteal up a little bit more. Oh my god, he's actually full on healing. They see Tana keeps him alive. And down the second arena. The spear on through. The Kunkka dies, but it's such a cost to Chicken Fighters, who are going to lose potentially their carry here as he has no way out. Coma is dead for 2 minutes. Death Prophet dead for 2 minutes. Chicken Fighters will have to hold 2 versus 4.
I think we just got our answer as to why you take this fleet talent. I think did a huge amount of work in that fight. This Kunkka was just unbring-downable. That's not even a word.
Yeah.
We see here, I feel like they should get him. There should be quad bolts coming out here. I feel they're a little late. He has Refresher too. Could have just double ulted. That was a Death Prophet cheese as well, and now...
Oh no, Supreme! He blinks! It's not up!
Pop is dead again.
Has to buy back. Again, the 2 versus 4 continues. Does Era have a buyback? No, he already used his, so this is the last 2 lives of Chicken Fighters, potentially, if CHILLAX can force this. And
this
I don't see any reason
There's
they
no
don't.
CK, no Death Prophet buybacks.
Dean joining a ward just to be able to spot things out. They try and use the totem to slow things down as much as possible. Low Dean, they have a buyback on the Lich. Actually managed to just get that one in. Breaking the Lincolns, breaking the spell shield rather, but it doesn't mean much. They're not really distracting CHILLAX too much.
This Frost Shield is your best friend right now.
Oh, it really is. Look how slow the damage has been on these tier 4s. Supreme jumping in. He wants to be able to go for loading. He wants to be able to kill this IO. He's not going to be able to get it. The physical damage overwhelms him. He's not going to be able to blink away. The supports aren't getting out either. CHILLAX will keep their dreams alive of a tiebreaker to the upper division. What a massive victory for them.